Hesychasm was debated in the 14th century, in the 1300s, at the time of St. Gregory Palamas, and he was the defender of the practice of hesychasm uh, in that era. And his texts were pivotal to the theology and spirituality and practicality, really, of hesychasm. And then in the 20th century, we have this phenomenon where on the Holy Mountain, hesychasm was largely forgotten about. It was rejected, it was not well known or practiced by a lot of the ascetics and monks on the Holy Mountain of Athos. And there were very, very, very few hesychast teachers and elders on the Holy Mountain who were practicing it and were very well experienced and wise in the art of hesychasm. And at the time that St. Joseph the Hesychast was on the Holy Mountain, he was reading about this. He was learning about it in the texts of like the Philokalia and so on and so forth. And he wanted to go and find an experienced elder, hesychast, who could teach him practically in person how to practice hesychasm, right, under the guidance and wisdom of an experienced elder. And he struggled so much to find an experienced elder. It was that rare to find an experienced elder at the time who could initiate someone in the practice of hesychasm. And he did, though, by God's providence, he did find many of these hesychast elders and ascetics on the Holy Mountain, rare and few though they were. And he was like a bee, right? He was going and he was finding, you know, these fragrant flowers, as it were, and learning from each one of them and embodying, as it were, the entire tradition of hesychasm within himself by going to each of these holy elders and having that hesychast tradition passed on to him as a disciple. So that then when he aged and as he progressed in his life and he had disciples come around him, he was then able to pass it on to them. And then they passed it on and went on and on and on. And now it's like all over the place. It's, very well known throughout the Orthodox world in countries like Russia, Romania, Bulgaria, America, right? And so, in other words, and you can read more about this amazing providential miracle, as you might want to call it. Let me fix that for you for a second. There we go. Which is that hadn't Saint Joseph the Hesychast found these hesychast elders, right? These few of them that were on the Holy Mountain, you gotta wonder, would hesychasm been forgotten about to a large degree? Would it have been largely neglected and continue to be rejected by many people? So Saint Joseph is quite literally a revivalist and a perpetuator, as you were, one who continues the tradition of hesychasm in the modern era. Thanks be to him. If it weren't for him, you got to wonder what would have the outcomes been. So that's just a little synopsis of the article that's linked in this slide on this PowerPoint. You can go and read it more for yourself later on, but it's really, really fascinating, the author that wrote that article.
Δώσας γαραχαίους ασχήτας, εκάθυρας ευχή του Ιησού, την καρδίαν και